Interesting. So when the news is out, we're pushing away from the high. Let's look here on the data, on the daily chart. Let me remove this. And so if we look at just today compared to yesterday, we've held the low, maybe even slightly higher. We've created a higher high, 47 pips. And average should be 51, 52 or so. Right? So thank God for us, we're not news traders, right? It doesn't matter if it's 10 seconds or an hour late, as long as we know it's coming and we're aware that it may or may not have an impact on what we're doing. Those two yellow lines are last week's range, and this is the first day of this week, right? So the first day of the week tried to go and conquer the top of the range. It failed to do so. I'm thinking, because we're still in this environment, I'm thinking we're going to go and test the bottom of the range, right? So that may take 3 or 4 days, right? That may take a week. Today being day one, we want to go and see what that looks like on an hourly. So you can see how they've pushed it up over the last, trading session. And here we are pushing away from the high, right? So we've identified the ceiling. We've identified a floor right here. And we know that ultimately the next floor is down here. All right, so let's go take a look at that on a 5-minute. And then draw that ladder that we would intend to utilize. Right, and this is just, it's like a rough draft, right? There's really no there's no right or wrong way to do this. You just have to look left and identify where price reacted before. Levels like this may come into play today. All right, so because we're making lower highs and because we're now making lower lows, we're not gonna fight this. Right, so on my 1-minute chart, I'm going to use boxes, maybe last week's. This is all last week's trades closed, by the way. All right, so here I am measuring 2 boxes, and I want to be a seller of resistance. Right, so a push back up into resistance, or a green candle in this area up here would be a good place to initiate a sell. There's a green candle. It's not really big. Oh, there it is. There's 2. All right, and if it pushes higher, I'll take a 3rd one. And if it makes it to the top there, I'll take a 4th. Right, so ultimately, I think if you were to measure the average daily range, we can maybe go and retest the high, or we can come back and start making lower lows, right? So the market will tell us what we're doing next, right? So this lower highs, lower lows tells me that a move up might be coming next, which is what we're living through right now. Right, this little leg right here, that's how I'm building a position. Right, if it happens to go up, I'm building more. Otherwise, I'm closing and recycling. Right, so we have a bias. It took us less than 5 minutes to figure out, and we've already got a few trades running. Ultimately, we're looking for a move lower You know, if I go to the daily and we measure what's taking place, you know, this current range that we are within, just today, just today we made it to 61% of last Friday. Right, so 61%, we would expect a little bit of a pullback. If we look at the even bigger picture, remove this and put it on here, it's probably near the 38% still. There's the 38%. Right, so there's a lot of resistance up above. We're just trying to figure out how much runway do we have to the downside. Right, so 2 hours per day, 5 minutes at a time. Right, we get to appreciate the runway one rung on the ladder at a time. Right, we don't want to rush the process. So just like this, right, a push back up will allow me to take the fourth and fifth click that I'm afforded to do. Right, I do have swing trades from up above. When I walked up to my computer at about 5:30 or so this morning, I opened what you see here. All right, so these are about $50 in profit already, and we are now closing our first winners. All right, let's do that again. All right, I see a green candle. Maybe we can sell it. There's a green candle. Beautiful. A trip near 760 would be awesome. You know, retest the low of last week. There's 2 winners. Can we get a few more? We're just going down the ladder today. Anything can happen. Don't put all your hopes, you know, on one trade. Can we recycle this? Awesome. One more green candle. Sell some of that. All right, so I climb back up the ladder. retesting the previous rungs. The two red lines that you see, one is 50% and one is 61%. Market went up to 61 and got rejected twice. There's a green candle. I'll take a third click. And if I can see a little bit more bullishness here, I'll take maybe a fourth and a fifth. The process is working awesome. As I mentioned in the last couple of videos, I'm going to start approaching the futures market with some of the the US students that I have, and so feel free to follow along. I'll probably be alternating every other day, right? So we'll be doing one day on Forex, CFDs, and one day on futures, and I'll keep everybody busy. I want to sell this right there. That's my number 4 clicks. Should I take number 5 or should I just wait? I'll wait and see if I can put it up here maybe. Yeah, that's what we're waiting for. I'm just going to bring this back down, get more real estate. Right around there. There's trade number 5. And because I have my swing trades open, I do have my break even above. So I'm operating in updraw. Yeah, we got our last snowfall of the year, I hope, this past weekend. Oh, hopefully spring will be on its way. One thing I noticed when I moved to the Rocky Mountains is the extremes are extreme. You get hotter days, you get colder days, you get longer summers, longer winter. Everything's different. I appreciate it all. Are we gonna recycle some trades here? The waiting is the toughest part. Slow news day. Later this week will be a lot more fun, right? We have PCE, I think, on Thursday. So volatility should pick up as we go through the week. like we always do, we go take a look at the yields. Right, so yields found support, turning around. Dollar index found support. It too is turning around. And that bodes well for our euro position. But we've closed the trade. Let's see if we can afford to recycle that trade. Preferably on the green candle. Oof. Right there. I have 5. That's all I'll take. Okay, I move back up. Puts me into box number 2. If this is a low. And box number 2 gives me the opportunity to spend a little bit more money. Before I forget, Friday's trades closed at break even right there. The swing trades, everything, I finished closing everything right before the end of the day. Like literally right before the end of the day. Right, so I went flat into the weekend. Right, that's what we want to see. A little bit of, recycling action. If this is a standard measure,
taking a look at the crypto fear and greed index, 72 out of 100 equaling greed, and the fear and greed index, 78 out of 100 equaling extreme greed. And taking a look at the VIX, currently up 1.46% at 13.94.
have to try and recycle these trades and then thread lightly. If we look at the calendar, I think there are maybe a speech 9 a.m. so in about 40 minutes. Right, we have to be careful for this. And then these bell auctions for those of you that will be trading at that time. Be cautious of that. Awesome. Nice. A little push to the bottom of the box would be great. And then it would enable us, to sell more as it pushes back up. At the bottom of the hour, we would expect a pullback of sorts.
At 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we get Dallas Fed Manufacturing Business Index, forecast minus 14 on the prior minus 27.4.
Right. We've already spent the money in the box, so we have nothing to do here until some of these trades close. Right. The alternative is we go up into the previous box, enabling us to spend some of the money that belongs there. We're just learning to pace ourselves. So if we go up here, this will allow us to sell more. Can you take one right there? Right, in this zone right here, there's resistance. All of this. Just like that. This is where you take another click. What am I in on these guys? 14. Yeah, I'm gonna close some of these swing trades right now. There we go. I'm keeping a couple, keeping 3 up at the top, and the rest is down here. All right, so I have 3 swing trades, and I'm left with 8, 3 pips, 3 pips, 3 pips. You notice how my average price moved, and if I sell, it will move in my favor. I just want it to go up to here so I can sell a little bit more. What's the account at now? 2650. 15,000 pips. About 3,600 winners. Oh, sorry, 3,300 winners and 350 losers. So a push up here will allow me to sell. Come on.
At 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we get Dallas Fed Manufacturing Business Index forecast -14 on the prior, -27.4.
Looking to see if we can sell more in order to recycle. Right, push up here is what I'm looking for. All right, there we go. A little bit more. I need it to go into the other box so I can put the money that belongs in that other box. All right, just baby steps. 0.5% per day is more than enough to change your life. But for most of us, you know, for the average brain, it's not enough. And that creates a problem. All right, do I get to sell more? Maybe we close the existing trades instead. The rest of the week is really where the fun is. Today's calendar is boring at best. 3 more minutes. I can't do anything unless we move up to this box up here. Well, I spent all the money that belongs in this zone, so I'm now in waiting mode. Some of you are already done for today. Awesome. Good job, you guys. Just business as usual. If you can take a click right there, take it. Nice green candle at resistance. If the market goes all the way back up to the top, I will probably reopen the swing trades as well. Get paid twice for the same job.
1 minute remaining.
All right, so going back to our daily very quickly. All right, so in this little zone right there, it'd be nice if we spent the next 4 or 5 days testing ever so slightly lower. And for a target lower, maybe
10 seconds.
76, right in this zone here. That would be a nice place to go to, right? 61% retracement.
Still waiting.
Let's see what the news does to us.
-11.3, -11.3 higher than the forecast of -15.
Higher than forecast. This should help us. Ay, ay, ay. The waiting is the hardest part. Come on. We're still stuck in that box. The average range is minimal, 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 minimal. Everything's been shrinking. 51, and today we did just shy of the average. It'd be nice to have big, big bars like we're used to. It's difficult to find probabilities when the range is undefined like this. From day to day, we're shrinking instead of expanding. Makes it tough. All right, testing the box. 1 standard deviation. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Come on. Yes. Perfect. A little push higher. There's 1. If it pushes even higher, I'll sell more. Rinse and repeat. It's averaging 2 boxes together. That's kind of the idea. There's 2. There's a 3rd one. When I'm looking here, I see resistance. Right, this is what we're pushing into, all of this. Right, in order for the current price to go to the moon, we have to go through all of this. And so that gives us a lot of opportunities to sell. And all we're doing is averaging the exits. It could still go up to, 890. Retest the highs back here. Right, we can still get up there. Just the same as getting down here. All right, the 2 yellow lines defined last week. Right, so as far as we're concerned, we are still within last week. I don't want to put that 4th and 5th unless we get up to like something like this up here. Oh, there we go. Number 4. And then maybe I can use number 5 up here. This zone right there. Yeah. Yeah. You have to be kind of open-minded, you know, and realize that the market has the legs to do something like this. You know, this is why we have a long tail stop. This is why our stop loss gives us that space, right? Because it wouldn't be abnormal for the market to move 4 boxes, just like it did here, right? It moved 4 boxes before we came to work this morning. So that's the kind of stuff, right? By measuring with the boxes, you have an idea of when things have run their course. Little slight push higher. There's the fifth. Now I'm waiting for this box if I get it. All right, this is what we want. Rejection. When we're looking left over here, we got all this stuff. It's gonna have to be kind of hard to break through all of this, you know, and all of this. Oh man, the waiting is driving me crazy today. Mr. Market sure knows how to get under our skin. Nice rejection right there. On our 5 minutes, we're testing the rungs on our ladder, and this time we're doing it bullish. Put one in the center, right around there. All right, so when did that pullback come in? Right about the bottom of the hour. And that's why we exploit it, you know, in a counter trend fashion. It's moved up 1.5 boxes. We've sold 1.5 boxes. Let's recycle some of these if we can. Green candle. 1, 2. The main objective is to not run out of money because the opportunities never stop coming. They're not all worthwhile, and so we're learning to parse, we're learning to sort, filter, you know, what's worth clicking on, what's not worth clicking on, and our approach using time of day helps with that sorting. We know what we're doing. We just don't want to see higher highs. Right? If we get up here, which would be 3 boxes, right? It's quite doable. And by the same token, this is quite doable also, right? Going to the downside. Average week. I'm gonna go mad with all this waiting. This is when you find a good audiobook. Considering we're heading into the end of the month, value date, that's tomorrow. So we have flow coming through. It's also a leap year, so there's an extra day. Right? Anything can happen. Be on the lookout for bullshit. The main event is later in the week. The PCE, which is the Fed's measure of inflation, that's coming up, I think, on Thursday. Oh man, so slow. Average bars, 1.5 pips. They're normally 2 or 3 pips at this time of day. If you have bullets to spend, now would be a good place to fire one off. Right there. Pom, 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 pom. There. Right, a little bit more of that will make me really happy.
Sweden's NATO ascension has cleared the final hurdle as Hungary ratifies.
15 more minutes or so, and I'll have to let you guys go. As far as I'm concerned, as the market remains below last week's high, I will remain bearish. Right, so I want to stay a seller, ideally for the next 3 to 4 boxes. Right, so I have 3 to 4 boxes of space between where we are and ultimately where I need to take my last sell trade. And that would be around, what level is this? That is 88.8. Right around here. We'll change that color to red. Right. And so I have to keep participating on the short side all the way up to that red line. Right. We know where we're wrong. By defining the risk, it makes it easier to swallow when things don't go your way. It's not a surprise, if it's already agreed upon. Now, how you get there will define what you do, right? If you get there in one big candle, it's not the same as if it takes you 3 hours to get there, right? So the road that you take to get there will tell you a story. Okay. I don't want to take any more trades because I spent them, but if you haven't spent them or if you've been able to recycle some, take one right now. Right, this area right here. Oops. Right there. Right. All we have is a way of measuring volatility, and within that measure, that unit of measure, we exploit momentum. Right? We extract 3 pips, 3 pips, 3 pips from that box. We're really good at repeating what works.
At 11 a.m. Eastern Time, we expect comments from ECB's Lagarde, who participates in a plenary debate on the ECB Annual Report 2022 in Strasbourg, France.
Oh, this should be fun. In about 10 minutes from now. Lagarde always has the ability to rock our world. Nobody reads minds. And so, the dilemma is, as we have built a position, right, do we want to go through the speech with it opened, or would we rather give back $8 and sit on the sideline for a little bit? My personal choice, I'm just gonna stay as is. If we do make a higher high, I'll fix it. If we make a lower low, I'll fix it. Whatever happens, happens. Right? It's at this point of the game, it becomes strategic. few more minutes. I'll stick around for this Lagarde speech. Maybe we do go into box 3 and it will afford me a few more trades. Don't want to let you guys go with, you know, Lagarde on the forefront. I wouldn't put it past her to push it past the highs, you know, as if it's, there we go. If you can take a trade right around there, take one. All right, looking to your left, you're at resistance. Look at that. That's one of the original swing trades that I had. And these are some of the swings themselves have a 36 pip stop. I'm just curious to see what Miss Lagarde will do to my position. Come on, 7 minutes to go. Can it do a box in 7 minutes? Yes. Oh. I'm waiting to sell in box number 3. All right, so making a higher high right there. Higher high would be an awesome place to sell. I can see it going all the way up to here. All right, few. Beautiful.
At 11 a.m. Eastern Time, we expect comments from ECB's President Lagarde, who participates in a plenary debate on the ECB Annual Report 2022 in Strasbourg, France.
Few more minutes. The fun stuff is only beginning, folks. We still have another 10 months of this. If you think this is slow, wait till you see summer. The last week of February is seasonally slow. But we still had to contend with the month-end flow that's scheduled to come through, right? Extra day this year. 3.5 minutes. Right. Don't fall for the trap. Whatever she says, let it unfold. Maybe we get to close everything, or maybe we get to be in deep doo-doo. We'll find out in the next minute. We'll move this one over there. That's where the break is. And this one is to catch whatever break we get. And then 1.5 minutes. Come on. About a minute. And we'll see how she
1
moves
minute
the
remaining.
market. Ba-da-dum. It'll be a big non-event. Watch this. Big dud. Top of the hour.
ECB's Lagarde says subdued demand for euro area exports, owing mainly to the weakness in global trade and earlier losses in competitiveness and tight financing conditions, are weighing on growth. Lagarde says wage pressures, meanwhile, remain strong. And Lagarde says the current disinflationary process is expected to continue, but the governing council needs to be confident that it will lead us sustainably to our 2% target. Labour cost increases are partly buffered by profits and are not being fully passed on to consumers. We expect inflation to continue slowing down as the impacts of past upward shocks fade and tight financing conditions help to push down inflation.
Here comes the fun.
Lagarde says our restrictive monetary policy stance, the ensuing strong decline in headline inflation and firmly anchored longer-term inflation expectations act as a safeguard against a sustained wage price spiral.
And just as expected, a non-event. And so I think we'll continue in our, with our plan A, right? Keep your take profits as is, keep your stop losses as they are, and remain bearish for now. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck, everybody. All right, target break even if you can get it. See ya.